leading the charge to make the 2024 Broker Carrier Summit possible, and we are so excited to have their support. In case you haven't heard, TAFS offers much more than freight factoring. It provides a comprehensive support system for trucking companies of all sizes, specializing in fast and efficient invoice factoring with the ability to pay carriers in as little as 1 hour. And TAFS services go well beyond factoring, offering a fuel card that unlocks major fuel discounts, flexible business loans that are designed to cater to the distinct needs of a carrier's operations, a dedicated, responsive client experience team, and much more. Blackbox Logistics is a 3PL freight brokerage based out of Birmingham, Alabama. Blackbox Logistics was formed in 2020 by 3 friends, Logan Dyer, William Graves, and Will Hopkins, in a basement office with the goal of bringing transparency around the clock communication and hassle-free customer experience to the table. Multi-service fuel card, the industry's first fuel card, was created by an over-the-road truck driver in 1978 to offer a safe, simple, and cost-effective way to handle fuel and trucking expenses. Initially, it addressed safety concerns of carrying cash on the road. Today, it combats advanced fraud with best-in-class technical and personal support. Sales-CRM is built for freight broker and agent sales teams. Manage your shipper prospecting and follow-ups. Organize your carriers in the lanes they run. HD Ships is a leading logistics provider specializing in sustainable and tech-driven freight solutions. With hubs in Reno, Phoenix, and London, we deliver comprehensive services, including full truckload, expedited cross-border, and intermodal freight. Leveraging proprietary technology, we offer 24/7 tracking, real-time visibility, and advanced automation to ensure safe, compliant, and efficient transportation. Our commitment to sustainability enables clients to offset emissions through carbon credits, aligning logistics with environmental goals. At HD Ships, we prioritize transparency, reliability, and exceptional customer service, empowering clients to achieve seamless, sustainable logistics solutions worldwide.
Happy Friday.
Yeah, happy Friday. Joining us from Bolivia again?
Yes, Bolivia.
Okay.
Hopefully I'm not on as bad of a lag as I am last week, so
Yeah.
crossing my fingers.
Well, I always like to ask at the beginning of the show because I never know where you're going to be joining us from.
That's true. You never know. Well, today should be a fun one. It's been a couple months since we've had John on, but it's always an entertaining episode. So. Shout out to our sponsors, Blackbox Logistics. in Birmingham, Alabama. First time hearing of them, but I think they're a new sponsor to the show.
You always do this. It's the Black Box Logistics, the People's Choice 3PL. I'm sure that you've heard of them. We've got HD Shipping Solutions, Reno, Nevada. They do agents, sales staff CRM, freight-centric CRM. We love it. Black Box is a customer. They're the OG original sponsor before we even had an episode. And we've got our banner sponsor, TAFS, top 10 factoring company out of Kansas City. If you guys are interested in factoring or just want to learn more about it, feel free to reach out to us. We can get you in touch or reach out to Ryan over there.
100% great people. Well, should we get into it? I mean, as normal, we don't have a plan with John, so who knows where this conversation will go. So,
yeah, hell, we'll just bring John on stage and just let him get into whatever he's on today. We'll take it from there. John, thanks for joining us.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Good, man.
Happy Friday.
So you are headed to Chattanooga tonight. So Matt left Chattanooga. Must have heard that you were coming in.
And maybe so. I mean, I've met him once since he's been in town. I'm heading down to see Jerry Seinfeld. I think he's Jewish. I think that'll be pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that'll be exciting. Yeah, Matt left the whole country when he knew that you were coming to town.
Yep.
Crazy. Well, what's
so how's the week of freight?
I'm sorry.
How's the week of freight been? What's been going on this week?
Busy. I'm not let foot off the gas. I've got a couple big projects going on with a couple clients. The carpet business is really good, so it's real strong. I think a lot of people forget they want new rugs and carpet in their house before Christmas. You know, can't see the same stuff as last year, right? So that's been really busy. Got a hot one going to North Dakota that I just got loaded. So yeah, all is good.
You had a good rate on it?
I made 12.5.
That's 12,500.
No, yeah, 1,250.
Okay. Yeah. So from my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, but this carpet that you're moving, it's a specialized type of dry van. It's going to just load a normal van on it.
So the line haul part is normal. The file, you need winches in the trailers and different equipment. All the forklifts have to have carpet poles, that sort of stuff. So that's where the specialty comes in. I mean, anybody can take it from A to B. You know, obviously you got to have a carpet pole to load it and unload it. But, you know, to get a 15-foot roll that's 200 yards all rolled up, that's got to go all the way to the back of the trailer. And if they don't have a dock, you have to there's a winch in the head of the trailer, and you have to pull that. So run it through a cord like a toilet paper holder, and you run that winch through and you pull it all the way back to the end of the trailer.
Glad you're bringing this up. Maybe we have some new, brokers on here. How important is like this knowledge, for getting like new customers, kind of knowing a little bit about what they do and, how to move their type of freight?
Well, I mean, you've got to do some research, right? Now, obviously it's carpet, it's really specialized. There's only about 9 carriers that do it. I mean, start to finish, it's very specialized. Carpet's also not priced by not priced by class and weight. It's actually priced by the square yards. So you're shipping 200 square yards. There's a dollar amount assigned based on zip code, just like normal LTL. But you've got to know. You've got to do some research. I mean, I talk to people all the time, shippers, and I think I've said this many times. They hear the same thing over and over and over again. And it's when they hear something different that catches their ear, that's just refreshing or unique or creative. That's when you're going to get somebody's attention. It's just like, meeting a girl at a bar. If you're going to be just like all the guy using the same generic pickup lines, or are you going to do something? Kind of reminds me of that movie Battleship. I don't know if you saw it, where it starts out where this guy's in a bar and there's this girl and she wanted like a taco or a burrito or something. He goes over to the store and it's closed. So he goes up on the roof and goes in and goes through the roof goes in while the store's closed, gets the burrito, gets caught by the police and tased, but obviously hands the girl the burrito, and they end up dating. So you've got to set yourself apart from the status quo.
Yeah, and the cool thing is, you don't have to break into a burrito shop to do that when brokering, right? So it's much easier to stand out than the situation. Yeah, I hope he got the date. My God, he broke into a burrito shop, got tased. Good for him. Yeah, so we often say a black box be anything but forgettable, and that's a big thing is trying to stand out. So John, when you say all that, what are some examples or ways that you practice that standing out and being a little bit different?
Well, so obviously what your goal is you want to be top of mind. If they've got a problem, call John, call Will, call Matt. That top of mind is very important, right? So, when I used to, and I kind of use I'd use a lot of car stuff that has stuck into my mind that has worked for me in the freight career. So I'll give it a good example. Let's say a customer come in to look at a Honda, and you give them a test drive, and then they leave, and then they go buy a Toyota. You call them up and you say, hey folks, I was getting some feedback. Do you, and did you like that Honda Odyssey? We'd like to get you in that, et cetera, et cetera. And they say, it just didn't, the Toyota just was a better fit for us. Right. You at that point in time, I would always say things like, Toyota makes a great vehicle. They've been around a long time. Their vehicles are very reliable, just like Hondas are. But if you don't mind, and nobody ever tells you no, do you mind if I go ahead and keep touching you a couple, 3 times a year? I'm not going to harass you, but touch you every 2 or 3, a couple, 3 times a year, because your situation may change. So I may not have had that product for you today, but I may have that product for you in the future. So if you don't mind, can I just check on you or something like that? And if a family or friend needs something, if you would share my information, that helps me out. Most people don't do anything on the follow-up. So keep touching them. There are people that I have been touching for 5 years and I still don't do business with them today, but they still know my name. They still know who I am. And if ever the stars align or they've got a need that I could, and some value that I can bring to them. And then that's the other thing. Every time you have a conversation, do not just say I'm checking in or circle back or any of that, actually bring some real value. So maybe your next touch is something that's going on in the industry, fraud. They're reducing 17, California got rid of 17,000 CDL drivers, the non-English thing, what's going on with the Trump administration. Just bring maybe some industry information, not particularly just say, hey, I want your business. I think, who's that? Freight Caviar. They're doing a printed newsletter magazine. I think I read, newsletters doesn't cost you anything. Industry, typing out something with the industry, and then you can, just copy paste. Do some personalization, with them. What's a $15 or $30 or $40 lunch twice a year, that when the stars align and their other broker failed, hey man, I'm going to give John a shot, man. This other guy, we were using TQL, and that rep was great, but we got this other rep and he's an idiot. You know what? It's time for us to call John. So those sort of type of things, you just got to stand out and separate yourself from the crowd. And every time you make a touch, you've got to bring some kind of value to them.
Yeah, that's well said. I think a lot of freight onboarding and sales is timing, really. So if you're that person that's in touch and providing some value, so if and when maybe their current provider messes up, they think of John Rogers. They don't just go to their email and find the last copy and paste that they found. A small thing that we like doing here is handwritten letters. So like little black box letterhead, send them something, maybe some small company gear, but write them out, especially first load moved, we do that. So it's not anything crazy, right? It's not rocket science, what you just described, but it's amazing how few people do that. Matt, I don't know if you have any thoughts or questions. I know you're on a bit of a lag, so I didn't want to cut you off there.
Yeah, no, I've been a little more quiet just because I'm on a leg. No, but I mean, I think you make a good point, John. I mean, you talk to these shippers, we talk about this all the time, but the most common, follow up is I'm checking in, or I have the best rates, or I have the best service, or this and this, but not a lot of value, not a lot of value out there. What are you still doing a fair amount of training? I know you talked in the past that you've been doing some training with some different sub agents and things like that. How's that been going?
I have, and I'm glad you brought that up, because I actually was going to bring that up. Is there is a group of freight brokers that we see post every day. I'm included. You're included. Well, you're not, Matt. You're not included, but Will obviously does. But the majority of freight brokers people don't know how to find you, and yet they know how to find me. And one of the things that I did the call with a guy, like a paid call, an intro call with a guy on Saturday. I mean, knows his stuff, hustling broker, I mean, he and the conversation was about, well, John, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, but I'm not growing. And I looked at his LinkedIn, no posts, nothing. We're not even connected. He follows me, but him and I actually don't have a connection. And my first words to him, I said, I mean, you're great. And, in the first 5 minutes, I realized that, you're like me, right? You can bring the same value I can, but nobody knows how to find you, because nobody knows about you, because there's no social media presence. There's a reason why people make millions of dollars on TikTok. There's there's a reason why millions of people make money on YouTube. I mean, my son watches what's that, Beast Guy on YouTube? Yeah. I mean, he's got, I don't know who he is, but he makes tons of followers and makes, I don't know, millions of dollars and gives a bunch of shit away. But I said, so with me, I share, my good, my bad, when I screw up, when I don't screw up, when I do something good, I said, because at the end of the day, your reputation is your business card. And I said, so, and then obviously I talked about using video emails, bomb, as a way that I, especially when I was growing my brokerage, I was doing video emails, personalized. I mean, this takes time. I mean, an email takes, especially if you copy and paste it and just change some names, it takes 30, 45 seconds. A video email takes time. It's decisive. It's specific. It's targeted. And when somebody sees that, and if you integrate that bomb in your email campaign, you'll see that when they open it, when they play it, how many times they open it. If you have any call to action buttons within that template, you see all that. If they click on your email, if they click on your LinkedIn profile, you see every time they make an action within that email. So, I mean, so I told him, and he paused for a few seconds, and he said, "You're right. Nobody knows me. Nobody knows what he does and the problems he solves." And that's why I say that so often, is because of that.
Yeah, no, that's a great point.
We all see the benefit of social media, but I think you would agree too, though, John. I mean, there's tons of brokers out there doing multi six figures. I mean, I know some of them who have never posted on LinkedIn, never commented. So, I mean, LinkedIn's great for me in recruiting, you as a freight broker. But I mean, if taking LinkedIn aside, because I mean, I do agree with you, but I mean, the video, what else kind of advice would you give him besides the video aspect?
Well, I know social media is not for everybody, and I'm not really good at it. It's like from the video standpoint, right? I mean, I'm not good at it. But again, you've got to spend time targeting, be refreshed. One of the things that I would immediately say in that maybe first contact is, don't take my word for it. Why don't you take my referral list? And it blows me away when I've asked people this. Do you have a referral list? Well, what do you mean a referral list? Do you not have a list of customers that any new piece of business that you're targeting could call? I mean, like, for example, I mean, I do work with Brant, right? The agricultural company, right? If I was targeting somebody doing hazmat, I would say, well, call Rob at Brand. Or if I was doing something very specific or it was high value, I'd say, hey, why don't you call David at Brinks? And, I've been working with them for 6 years now and see what kind of level of service I've been giving those folks. So, so the first thing I'm going to say, if anybody pushes back on me, hey, why don't you call this referral list? They'd be more than happy. They like, love, and trust me. They'll be more than happy to give me a good word. And it just amazes me that, and these are just simple things. Like I find them as common sense, being in maybe the sales arena for 25 years, but that people don't do these kinds of things.
Yeah, we've got a good question for you, John. But first, I want to prop up a couple of comments. I don't know who this is because it was on Matt's stream, but somebody says Matt's stage name is Carmen Sandiego. And then happy Friday, John. Thanks for tuning in. We got a question here. Do you use any other social media platforms to get your name out there, or is it LinkedIn your main focus?
Just LinkedIn. I actually had a guy reach out to me. I don't know, maybe a month ago, wanted to actually do some other social media. I have a TikTok account. I tried it for, I don't know, a couple, 3 postings, but it really doesn't. I don't see how I can monetize it. Like I haven't figured that out, how to monetize it. So maybe like if I was focusing on training and I'm trying to get students, and maybe that would be a way when I get to that level, or I make some changes in recruiting or something, that might be a target audience with TikTok. I mean, I know I read, that there's people that do the TikTok shop and make millions of dollars, a week and that kind of stuff. But, my business and I can tell you this is over $10 million in just with LinkedIn.
Yeah, so I've got a good story that relates to the podcast. Actually, there was a guest that we had on pretty early in the show who was a shipper, and I didn't try to sell him immediately, but like 6 months later or so, I started messaging him a bit, and he happens to be a Mississippi State fan, and I'm an Ole Miss fan. So if you know anything about Mississippi, those are rivals. It's like Alabama, Auburn. So where we are, that's a big deal. I'm an Ole Miss fan. He's a Mississippi State fan. I made a deal with them once we move our first 10 loads that I would get a black box branded cowbell. So at the Mississippi State football games, they all have cowbells, ring them. We just moved our 10th load. I got a cowbell engraved with the black box logo, and I'm sending it to him. So
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's a good example of how this podcast has. I don't know. That's how I know that guy. He's seen me posting all that good stuff, and then also being a little bit different in that situation. I try to have a little bit of fun with it. With work, like so that's like a fun little agreement, right? The cowbell, it's kind of silly, but we both enjoyed it, and that was just an example of ways to kind of stand out. Not to toot my own horn on it, but felt like it was relevant. We got more comments. Don't take my word for it. Maybe look at my referral list. That's gold. Lots of exclamation marks.
I mean, exactly. I mean, and I've got lists depending on the type of stuff. Like there's a lot of stuff I don't do. I don't do drayage. I don't do heavy haul like you would do. And to be honest with you, if some guy, somebody called me up and said, hey, John, I want to do some heavy haul or something because it's not something I've ever done, I'd refer that out. I would say, hey, Will, or, Adam, with Landstar or something, say, hey, this is more of a specialty for you, not for me. Right. I stay in my lane. And I think that's something else that brokers fail to do. Sure, 3PL can do it all. Right. Now, if you want LTL, I love LTL and I'm very good at LTL, but I mean, I wouldn't just say yes to something that's not in my wheelhouse. And I think a lot of brokers will not get a lot of credibility when they're saying, you see the emails all the time. They do it all, right? It's a list that's 20 bullet points. We do everything. And I think that's that's really a turnoff to a shipper, because you can't be everything to everybody.
Yeah. So, I mean, building off of that, what a lot of organizations get wrong, in my opinion, especially a cradle to grave model, is maybe having that one individual try to play on all those playgrounds, right? So I think that some people that do it well with the different divisions, right? So I might specialize in flatbed, right? But if it's LTL, there's a guy here that's the LTL expert. It's not me trying to jump between oversized flatbed to LTL to international to Mexico and all these different things. And it's tough for a sales rep to, I think, early on to really embody that not all business is going to be good for the relationship, right? Like I want as much revenue as I can get. So I'm going to say yes to something that maybe I might mess up and then cost me future revenue. And then we got another comment from John. It says, yep, you add value when you refer someone to another provider.
100%. And, you know, I think you've got to get good and stay in that, getting good in a particular areas and do good. I'm good at high value. The company Playtech I do business with. I mean, these roulette wheels that I move for these folks. I mean, that goes into these big, what they call studios. That's basically a live blackjack dealer or black roulette dealer or roulette player. They're all in line at their house, and it looks like look like Vegas, and there's like maybe 500 tables. And these machines, if they were compromised, right? I mean, I vet the hell out of these carriers, because sometimes they move in areas where I don't have regular carriers, and I got to go to the board. It's not often, but it does happen. I mean, I vet these carriers like they're going on a date with my daughter. Like, I mean, this is not a 5-minute or a 3-minute. I mean, sometimes it's a 10-minute conversation, on, making sure they understand the work that's going to be performed. Because depending on the state, each state has their own gambling commission, and they have their own set of rules. Pennsylvania is a very tough state to deliver in. The chain of custody forms that are required to deliver something in the state of Pennsylvania, anything to do with gambling machines, slot machines, anything like that, the chain of custody, a lot of forms. I actually had a load going to Pennsylvania, and they didn't check a box. It was a box on a form. And I had to turn the guy around and send him back to Las Vegas, and he was over halfway there on his way to New Jersey. So, so understanding their business and being like, hey, did we check all the forms? We're going into PA. What I do is I have them lock the trailer in Las Vegas. They put the key in a FedEx box. In a FedEx envelope, and the only person that has the key is to that trailer that's locked is the receiver in New Jersey, in Atlantic City. So and before me, they were just, they had no security protocols, none whatsoever. And I'm like, guys, you understand how you're exposed? What would happen if something would, what would happen if you get, this gets stolen or what have you. And they're like, we never thought about that. They were just, a lot of people that aren't in this space don't think about the repercussions of not having an SOP and a security protocol.
Yeah, that's a really cool commodity to move in. It makes me think of SCL Supply Chains in 2023. They went bankrupt, and one of the reasons they cited was they had slot machines stolen in Mexico, actually. And it was a pretty substantial loss. Those machines are fairly expensive from my understanding.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Matt, you got any questions or anything? I don't want to monopolize the show. I know you're kind of waiting with the lag.
No, I was just listening. I've heard John talk about the casino stuff, and it's very, very true. I guess maybe what are you seeing out there from hearing about you love to talk about this, John, too, and it's something I care about too. But what are you seeing out there from employee treatment? Brokers, W-2. You talking to more W-2 reps who are more open to the agent world? Than maybe a year ago. You're seeing more W-2 companies open agent models. I know you have a lot of opinions on this stuff. So what are you kind of seeing out there lately?
It's a real good question. And here's what I'm hearing. Everybody's comp plan's getting changed. I mean, they're changing it 2, 3, 4 times a year. Comp was based on load count. Now it's based on gross revenue. Now it's based back on load count. And every time you do this, obviously they're taking money. And I think, obviously because of the current market conditions is why a lot of these comp plans are getting changed. And when you mess with people's money, that's going to piss them off. I mean, you can do a lot of things, but you don't mess with people's money. And I've probably had over the past couple months, 15, 20 people that I've talked to about agents. And here's what I do about this. And I actually had this conversation yesterday for about an hour and a half with a guy. I say things in general because Matt, I love you, but I've never seen your platform, right? So I tend to say things like most agent programs are the same. Now there are some that have that have some issues, right? There's some that have some kind of quirks about them, but overall, they're kind of the same. The back office does their job. They pay the carrier, they issue the credit, they approve you to move the carrier or not move the carrier. Each of them have their own splits. Some of them have some, different tech options. Some Ally Logistics, Dan, he was telling me that he's integrated a lot of AI into his platform. He doesn't charge for that with his agents. So, there's probably a lot of good stuff for those agents that may need, say they've got a customer that's got a bunch of volume and they shotgun it out to 4, 5, 6 brokers where AI can alleviate some of that work on the quoting side, right? Or you're not wanting to use overseas or expense of the track and trace team where AI takes some of that role in the track and trace stuff. And you may even use some of that, Will. So he offered that, that's something that may be beneficial to his business, to his offerings. So, what I see is I kind of leave it like this. There are strengths and weaknesses to every program. Now, if you move a lot of, for example, if you move a lot of LTL, LDI has a direct platform. They don't go buy it from Global Trans or Priority One as a reseller, which a lot of brokerages do. They have their direct tariffs. So you're not getting marked up 7, 8, 10% from Global Trans or Priority One, and then you've got to mark it up to sell it again to your client. But if you were doing, say for example, you needed, you're doing a lot of RFQs, RFPs. Matt, I know you have, you guys buy into, what is it, Green Screens or whatever that is, that has the data for maybe somebody that's doing that, that's doing a lot of RFQs, some of the more bigger enterprise shippers. So I kind of say that for the most part, the brokerages as a general are all the same. The support typically is the same. I mean, I can get a carrier overridden at 2:00 in the morning on a Sunday. I can issue a lumper at 4 a.m. on a Saturday night or whatever. But depending on what their need is, I may steer them in certain directions. So I don't say just because I'm with LDI might be the best fit for them, so, but going back to this, the agents are going to continue to grow. It was 9 months before I realized they was even an agent program. So I was in the business 11 months with R&L. It was post 9 months before I knew there was a program. And then it took me 60 days to figure it all out and then leave R&L and go to work for LDI. And then become an agent for LDI. it's hard. And I had this conversation with Dan, and there are probably a lot of people out here that are in W-2 roles because your employer's not going to tell you, oh, by the way, you can be an independent agent here. There may be people out here that believe two things. And Dan kind of said two things to me. Number one, that they actually are in an agent program. Now, that's hard to believe, but like Matt said, not everybody's on LinkedIn, but they're, 6-figure agents, 7-figure agents, but they're just kind of under the radar. The number two side of that is, it's too good to be true. Like, agents don't make $10,000 a month, $20,000 a month, $100,000 a month. Well, they do. I mean, it's out there. I mean, LDI has an agent that moves $40 million a week of truckload business. That's a lot of money. Yeah. He's huge. He's got, 20, 30, 40 member staff that does all the operations. He's got a huge client in the beverage industry, so, that's the thing is, I think some people, but the agency is, the word's getting out. And brokerages don't always treat people the best. The reason I decided to move is when Rob Bowman, the president of RNL, said, these are good customers. So these are customers that I got in let's say West Virginia, because I'm from there. I land these people from West Virginia. I've got to prove that I'm better than the other brokers that they're using, TQL, Global Trans, who they were using. And he said, if you can't make 25% margins on these customers, fire them and go get new customers. Like customers grow on trees. They're paying their bills on time. That's a win, right? They're paying in 15, 20 days, or that's a win, especially in this market. They're communicating. It's good freight. And then he's like, well, if you can't make enough money on, just go out and fire them. And that just went through me. I was like, that was the last straw. That's not an organization I want to work for that has that kind of attitude. And I've become an agent after 11 months.
Yeah, 25% is
just a quick
threshold. Go ahead, Matt.
Let's say just a quick disclaimer: the Two Dogs One podcast is not responsible for any opinions of our guests. Just trying to make sure we don't ever get sued, John. Sorry.
It's okay.
Hey, John's not scared to get sued. He'll be out there on LinkedIn tagging these companies.
Yeah, I've been sued. Yeah. I read a quote the other day that a guy said, you're doing really good business. And this has nothing to do with freight. This was just a general quote. You're growing when you're getting sued. There's some truth to that.
I would agree. There's some truth to that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, we covered some good ground, some good sales tips from you, John. As always, we always look forward to having you on the show. So it's good to have you back after a couple of months. That you've got some big plans tonight in Matt's old city before he decided to leave the country again. So we don't want to take up too much of your afternoon here.
I appreciate it, and I typed this out, but I say this daily. I said this today. Mr. Customer, it's my job to give you information to make an informed, educated decision about your supply chain. How great that sounds. Mr. Customer, I'm here to give you information so you can make an informed and educated decision that impacts your supply chain. When you say something like that, people will say, man, he really knows what he's talking about. He's up on the industry. He's confident that he's going to take care of my business, because at the end of the day, that's what we're doing. We're an extension of their supply chain. We're just taking care of them. We're looking after the sheep, right? We're the shepherd. We're looking after the sheep. That's what we're doing.
Yeah, no, 100%. That's so much better than the you see all the just touching base emails. So that's a great example. I like that you give the listeners something concrete that they can go and take after the show. That's can do it to the people they're following up with. So that's great.
Well, guys, I appreciate it. And like I said, I mean, have me back on whenever you can. I think my wife's ready, and we're going to head down and see Jerry Seinfeld. My last truck is I'm looking at him. Looks like he's pulling out of the door in Arlington, Texas at Pioneer Foods. So we're
All
good to
right,
go.
there you go. All right, John, we'll safe travels.
Enjoy
Enjoy
the
the night. Yeah, we'll have you on soon enough again.
Take care. God bless everybody. Take care.
Awesome. We got another comment. Thanks for the great
Always
content.
entertaining with that.
Yeah, man, no kidding. Never know what you're gonna get with John. Yeah, knock on wood that we don't get any cease and desist letters. So I'm glad that you added that disclaimer in there. I wasn't thinking about it.
I had to, man. It's not like we're like brokerages here. We have a small podcast. I don't know if we're going to want to spend the legal fees for John's statements.
No, I don't want to get sued by anybody. But no, yeah, great episode. Shout out to our sponsors before we leave. I'm gonna take Black Box this time, so you don't forget to mention that Black Box Logistics, the People's Choice 3PL, voted for by the people. Brokerage, Birmingham, Alabama, the Magic City, shipblbx.com. Let you take the rest there, Matt.
HD Ships. If you're looking to be a freight agent, love to chat. Sales Dash. We talk about this every week, but we have agents that use it. Will's company uses it. They're growing. We've met Josh and Drew in person. Will's probably met them more than me at this point, but I've met Josh, I think, twice in person now. Great guys and great company. And our banner sponsor, Taft's Top 10 Factoring Company. One of the go-tos, for trucking companies. We've also met them in person. They've been a sponsor for well over a year of the show. We will be back on Monday. Short turnaround. Have we ever done this before? We have a Friday show and then a Monday show. That might be a first.
I don't know, but yeah, we'll be back 12:30 Central on Monday with Ryan Schreiber. I'm really excited for this one. He's a very smart dude, and it'll be an interesting show for sure.
Yeah, I may have to mess with my Wi-Fi, use a different Wi-Fi or something, because this lag is kind of getting bad in this place in Bolivia. So
yeah, not a bad idea. Well, hey, enjoy Bolivia. Don't do anything I wouldn't do, and I'll see you back here on Monday.
all right, sounds good. See ya.